Right versus wrong is a side. Good versus evil is a side. As a matter of fact, the very churches that we grew up with, in the Bibles that we read, God required that we take a side. As a matter of fact, he said, if you're lukewarm, I will spit you out. In other words, he required that you take a side, that you stand for something or fall for nothing. Is you is or is you ain't is a side. Black people and brown people and women who've ascended needed somebody who took a side for their ascension. It was absolutely paramount to our forward movement that somebody take a side. And then when he did this.
What's going on in the current political climate, I'm just saying I don't want to turn anybody off, but I hate politics. Like, despise them. It's a magic trick that it's not real. I don't believe in either side, because I think when you pick a side, you are inadvertently supporting division. Yeah, it's not a popular point of view, but I just gotta say, like, think about it. The wells are drying up, and okay, now the diversity's off the table, now equity's off the table, now inclusion's off the table. So that makes me ask myself, okay, so how do we survive? Well, are there black people here tonight? Yeah. And in your heart, do you think, for what it is that you do and who you are, do you think you're the best? Okay, so do you want the job because you're black or because you're the best? Do you want someone to support your startup because you're black or because you're the best? Right, so I think now for me it's about us having the best ambition. That's the reason why you should support these businesses. Yes, they happen to be black and brown, but it should be based on the thesis that we're the best, not because we are a total shade of a skin color.
I think Pharrell is a dope dude, but he is in his position right now because of his resume. Virgil Abloh, which was a guy who learned how to sew from his mother, who studied architecture, who worked with Fendi. He was so dope that he became the creative director. The first time in a company that had almost been 200 years old, the first time they ever had a black creative director was Virgil Abloh. And if you look at what fashion looked like before him and after him, he changed everything. He changed everything. He was so dope that his resume insisted that they take him, and he changed their fortune. Look at all the fashion houses before him. Everything was a derivative of what he did. And when he passed on, they didn't want somebody different. A company that only had one black person in 200 years took another one. And it wasn't Pharrell's resume that made him the obvious choice. It was his connection to the very culture that Virgil Abloh had introduced. The very culture he connected him to. If you look at what Virgil Abloh did, he was so dope that they said, not only are we going to have him, for the second time in our history, we're going to get a black dude. Now, it wasn't his resume that made him choose him. His resume wasn't so pristine that a fashion house of LVH's stature chose him. It was because Virgil Abloh had been so dope, we need somebody that keeps us connected to them. We need somebody that connects us to what this dope ass dude did. And I'm not saying Pharrell ain't dope, but it wasn't his resume that got him there. It was his skin color. You could have took his very resume and he would have been, if you took Pharrell without his skin color and his dope hat and his little glasses, he is not the director of LVMH. It was his skin color as much as anything else. And to me, it's a shame that so many people who now get to not take a side benefited from so many people that had to.